Yes, people, welcome back to Vinny's Voice. I'm joined by Cole once again. Cole, how have you been? It's fight week now.
I've been good, bro. It's been a minute since we talked. I'm
Yeah, exactly.
excited. It's been over a year now since we've been in the ring, and so excited to get back in there.
So, obviously, Breakout '07 is nearing us now. How are you feeling now since now is being quite close to the day at this moment in time?
I've never felt this prepared and this ready for a fight in my life. This was definitely the hardest I worked just because I haven't fought in so long. But I've never felt this good, and I'm just ready to get in there and show everybody.
Yeah, so speaking about your fight on Breakout 7, your opponent Blaze, that's who you'll be fighting today. I mean, not today, in in a couple days' time. What do you make of your opponent, and how do you think you'll match up against him in the ring?
I think the matchup definitely favors myself. He's got a lot of power. I'm prepared for that. Lots of sparring, hundreds of rounds of sparring this year. Um, I, I don't know. It's just I know him, so I know him on like a more of a friend level too. But we put that to the side. Obviously, after we get out of the ring, we're gonna be boys. But once we're in there, I just like my footwork speed, my power. I think I have more power. But hey, we're gonna find out Saturday night, and I think it'll be my way, pretty convincingly.
Do you expect the stoppage potentially, or are you just going in for the win at this point?
Definitely just going in to win. I don't want to get ahead of myself like I always have in the past. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, then oh well. At the end of the fight, my hand will be raised regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, that's a good answer because well, in boxing, a lot of people say they're gonna knock out. Like Yoni Gang, right? He always
Right.
says first round knockout every time, but we all know
Never
that's never
happens.
gonna happen. But yeah, for me, well, for everyone, as long as you find a way to win, whether it be
Yep.
scrappy, dominant. Obviously, you want to be dominant, but a win's a win, and it will
Right.
definitely elevate your career. Now, I know it's a bit hard to look into the future because you have a fight coming up. It when you do win, do you have any concrete plans or what you want to do moving forward, or at this moment in time, are you just focused on the task at hand on Saturday night?
Definitely been looking in the future. I think I've told you before. I don't plan on staying in the influencer scene unless if there's a call from Mams or if Anthony Taylor has the right opponent. But other than those two, I don't see myself staying in influencer boxing. I definitely want to go pro in MMA, and that's really the goal. And Misfits has MMA now, and I would love to get in there, man, and fight Dylan or whoever really. I know Overflow is trying to get in
Yeah.
there, and MMA. I've met him before. He commentated my debut. He was a commentator, so I know he knows who I am. That would definitely be a fight. Me versus Overflow. That's something that I would be very interested in on Misfits MMA.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like with Misfits MMA, I think you could be a good addition because the roster is probably not as saturated at the moment. So there's definitely
Right.
more, let's say, openings as opposed to the boxing where everyone wants to box, but
Right.
obviously not many people want to do MMA. Um, so if you were to fight MMA, obviously you said Overflow. Any other names that you like? Maybe potentially even like outside the Misfit space that could potentially be your next opponent.
Not sure. As making a debut, it's really just gonna be whoever
Mm.
they put me against, especially in the pro scene. I won't really get a say. But in the influencer scene, man, if it goes that route and influencer MMA blows up, then why not? Um, but no, I mean, I just know Dylan and Overflow. Those are just big names. Those are
Yeah,
those are names that would be awesome. I know the Dylan fight wouldn't happen right now, but
yeah,
I know there are definitely some names that are interesting, very interesting, and I won't say no to anybody.
yeah, exactly. Now I want to talk about a bit yourself, how you prepared for this camp. Well, take me through like a day of like day in the life because I've spoken to a lot of other breakout stars. Some say they train by themselves in the garage. Some say they have a coach. You know, it's a bit of a mixed bag of how they prepare for fights. So for yourself, how take me through a day of how you actually prepared for
So
this fight against
normally,
Blaze.
so normally I'm up at 5 a.m. for work. I work construction, so I'm up
Yeah,
at 5 a.m. Normally, get off around 4 or 5 p.m. and then 8 o'clock I'm in the gym. I have a professional team. I have a gym. I have complete 24-hour access. I got my own key and everything, so we're really locked in. A whole professional team. Not cutting any corners. Um, you're not gonna catch me training. Nothing against the guys training at home and in the backyard. If that's what you got, that's what you got. But for me, if I'm able to take the next step, then I'm gonna make sure I stay up there. You know what I mean?
yeah. I've seen here and there some clips of your opponent's training. He looks like he's is he. Are you aware, or is he actually training out of his backyard, or does he have a team? Are you aware of his
I
training
believe
situation?
he is training in the backyard, but I also know he has a gym that he goes to. I don't know if he has a coach, but I know. Um, I mean, I don't know if there's much different than training outside or inside without a coach. It's really just it's up to yourself, I guess, at that
Yeah,
point. But I don't think he has a team. I think most of the stuff is outside. But hey, I know he's coming for it regardless.
exactly. Um, would you presume that puts you at a more of an advantage because having a coach, because obviously that coach has that experience and can, tell you what you're doing good and tell you what you're doing bad, and as opposed to potentially not even having a coach and just training out your backyard. Obviously, this is due to Break obviously not paying, and it's a bit difficult for some individuals. But with yourself, do you think that puts you at a much higher advantage than it did? Let's just say if you both had a coach.
You know, I'm really not sure. I'm guessing there would probably be an obvious yes, but I've never fought anybody that's trains the way he has. So, and I know he's coming with intensity. So I'm not. I guess we'll find out. But I guess the obvious answer for me would probably be yes. I think I would have an advantage. But then again, I guess it's me versus him. My coach can't get in there, so I'm gonna have to get in there and handle business like we've been training on.
Exactly, for sure, for sure. Yeah, because I asked that question obviously because I interviewed Pat, Pat Typlusion a
Right.
couple of months ago, and when he fought in CFL, his opponent had, uh, coaches and all that, while he just trained out his backyard. But the fight ended up, being Pat's pure hunger and determination ended up winning the fight. Sure, it wasn't the most technical fight
Right.
of the night or by any means, but in the end, he got the job done. So I think, yeah, it's just how much you want it at the end of the day. But obviously, having a coach or having a team around you definitely does help with the process. Now, you said you obviously get up for work, you work from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. So pretty long hours. Uh, what's been the most difficult part of camp? Has it been that having to wake up early in those long hours and then go to the gym, or has it there been any other factors that's played into
I,
that?
I would say that's probably the biggest one. Being at work all day in the sun, especially living in Florida, it's brutal. It's brutal over here. And then I get home, and the last thing I want to do is train. So I got to re-talk myself into starting the day all over again and get in the car, drive to the gym, and then do it all over again. And normally I'm at the gym until 10 o'clock, go home, get in bed, back at work the next day. And it's repetitive. That's why I can't wait for Saturday to be over, get a little bit of rest before we make our next decision, and from there on, we'll figure out a way to make this a little easier.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, oh yeah, that's it. Sounds like you almost have like it sounds like you have very little time. If you don't mind me asking, because obviously take obviously there's a pro like Tyson Fury. He moves away from like his family to like when he trades, and it looks like obviously you don't really have that much time. If you don't mind me asking again, do you live with anyone, and if like a partner or whatever, and if you do, has that been difficulty spending a lot of time away from that partner or whoever you live with at the moment?
So my fiance loves to come to the gym with me when she's
Oh,
not
fiance!
working.
Wow, congrats! Yeah,
Thank you, thank you. She loves to come watch me work out. She likes being there. So I mean, I haven't had any struggles with that. I definitely make time for everything. If I'm not getting paid, there's certain things I can't sacrifice. So relationships aren't going to be something I sacrifice if I'm not getting paid. So for this fight, this is the first fight I haven't been paid for. So definitely redid the whole way I do camp, just because I don't want to be losing money taking this fight. So I'm just very strategically mapping out every day and making sure nothing gets in the way of my life too.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And you did mention, yeah, you're not getting paid because, well, breakouts, you could say amateur, all that, so they don't pay. Obviously, not nothing against the promoters or anything, because we are Let's Red Pat and everyone at Breakout. Uh, Maybe not now, but in future fights, would you rather be paid, or do you think getting not being paid at this moment is sort of like a struggle for you, or do you just not mind at all as long as you get in the ring?
This fight, I don't really mind it. It's
Yeah,
been over a year since I've been in the ring, so really, I'm just itching to get in there. So, however I can make it happen is how I'm gonna make it happen. In the future, definitely with getting my pro license here soon, um, there'll be definitely a little more strategic on how I do things, making sure that I am getting compensated. Because at the end of the day, it's my life that I'm putting on the line. So I just got to make sure I'm being smart about it, making sure I'm making a living from it too.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the most important because yeah, paying for the like training camps and all that, and just having that sort of boxer or professional fighter lifestyle is not cheap. So yeah, it will be good in the future when you do hopefully go pro MMA and you make it out there that you get cons you I can't say the
Right.
word, sorry, but you yeah, on my throat. Yeah, you do get paid, you paid good, obviously, with the fiance and everything now. So hopefully all those things are sorted in the future. And obviously, big out to Lesra and Pat for obviously now giving you this opportunity after a
Right.
year out. So yeah, props to them and whatever and what they're doing for the SCB. Now,
No, they're pretty awesome. They
yeah,
they make a
exactly.
lot happen with
Yeah,
very little resources.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
very
Yeah, that's what I'm
involved.
saying. Because I'll tease something here. I've been working on sort of like a trailer thing for Breakout 7 like a little bit.
Okay.
And I've been getting clips from like obviously that live event. And it looks like even like from the first Breakout event to the latest one, the
Mhm.
production and everything is like night and day.
Right.
So it just shows how quick they're moving because that's only been 6 shows. Imagine another 6 shows. What that
Right.
looks like. Even hopefully, as Pat told me, well, I'm sure he doesn't mind me sharing, but he says hopefully one day, they can pay fighters for Breakout. We're not sure how that's gonna happen, but hopefully, that'll be good, and
Mhm.
that could be possible. So it's growing the SCB, and I've taken note of that. And yeah, hopefully it all comes into fruition and there's a good show on Saturday night. Now,
Oh
speaking
yeah.
on that show on Saturday night, have you looked at any of the other fights? And if so, which one would you say is your favorite or you're most looking forward to see after your fight, obviously?
Mm. So I'm just now. So I would say probably 90% of the card. I don't know who they are. Well, not necessarily who they are, but how good they are at boxing or anything. So I'm like getting immersed into the SCB community the same night I'm stepping in the ring. So I don't really know too much about everybody. I do know about SOG.
Yeah,
Him
so
versus Pascal should be a pretty good fight. Other than that, I'm excited for Pat versus Divine. I know that
yeah,
it's an exhibition, so there's no winner, but it should still be a fun fight to watch.
yeah, for sure, yeah. Probably SOG and Divine for me as well. But
Mm,
yeah, as well as you, I'm not that immersed in the SCB. I mean, I know a couple people, but
mm,
I'm sort of in the same boat as you. Now, speaking of not being immersed with the SCB, I've talked to a lot of people who are heavily in it, and they have a very close knit. They call it a family. I am pretty sure Blaze is also one of those people. I haven't spoken to him, but by
yeah.
looking at his tweets or other people's tweets, it looks like he's quite in it. Would you say you're coming here? You are coming in to this fight as the quote unquote villain, the person to ruin the party, and if so, what do you make of that
You
standpoint?
know, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Is a lot of people for some reason just don't like me over there. I don't know why. I don't know anybody. So I mean, I'm just coming in, just looking to have fun, man.
Yeah,
If you're not having fun, then you're not doing it right. And so I don't know. I think it'll be a lot different once you start meeting people, start realizing I'm not a bad guy. So but no, I think it's kind of funny embracing the whole villain role. I think that's kind of what it is. Everybody that I've seen is really rooting for Blaze, and so if that means I got to come in and spoil the party, then I guess that's what I got to do.
exactly. And yeah, as you said, when people meet you in person, Twitter, I guess, if you, I'm not sure what people have been saying, but let's just say hypothetically, because obviously I don't know anything, but let's just say they've been talking shit about you online.
Mhm.
I doubt they'll be keep that same energy in person because it's a
Right,
lot
a
more
lot different.
difficult. Yeah, a lot more difficult and different keep to keep that sort of, I would say, negative energy in front of a person.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So with this fight, obviously, you want to win, but are there any other motives that you want to achieve from this fight? Like, say, any personal things or whatever, or just I just want to go in there winning, take the
I
win.
definitely want to get in there and give all the praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That's the reason I do all this. That's the reason I got into this, is to do what I can to glorify Him through my gifts that He's given me. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's a lot bigger than me just getting in there and throwing hands. It's me getting in there for a reason. I feel like a fighter that has no purpose isn't going to go too far. And me in the past, I feel like I've been fighting with no purpose, and now having a purpose and having a foundation to stand on really just accelerates me to another level. And I feel it mentally and physically. And when I get in there, it's more than just me in there. It's everything I stand on, everything I believe in, everybody around me. And even if it's a small show, it doesn't matter what stage. I'm just gonna be ready for whatever comes my way.
Yeah, for sure. Now speaking on obviously your faith and all that, I have my own faith, well, Hinduism, but it's
Right.
good to see people have faith. How has God, managed to sort of help you through this fight camp? Because obviously, yeah, as you described, it hasn't been easy with your long days and all that, and obviously, I believe in a higher power. I believe God, God has a plan for you, and God will help you each 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 step of the way as long as you produce the result, produce the effort. So, how do you think spiritually, God has helped you through this camp?
Right. So, I mean, after my last fight, the loss, I just didn't see myself fighting again. Didn't see myself picking up gloves. Just mentally, I was so down. And then, really out of nowhere, I just started getting that itch again, and I just prayed about it. And came to the understanding that God's not going to supply me the win, but He'll supply me the gloves to get to that win. So it's up to me to put the work in, and that's really what I've been doing and staying in prayer, constant prayer, and just getting into my Bible and just figuring out more about myself and my relationship with God more than ever has really got me to a point. It's helped me work harder. Training becomes a little easier when I know that I'm not relying on my own strength. And yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of fighters understand that, and people in the fighting industry understand a little bit more that there's something else out there, especially when you're going the lengths of fighting and at war. There's something mental that only us as humans can only get so far, and spiritually you have to rely on God. And I'm sure you've seen that just watching this. There's more out there, and especially as a fighter, you can understand that so much more.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, yeah. God can do great things if you put in the work, and yeah, I've seen it, and probably you've seen it as well. Now, before we wrap up the interview here, normally I say best quote piece of advice, but I already asked you that.
Mm.
Instead, I'm gonna ask you any last messages or something you want to say to your opponent Blaze, before your fight on Saturday night.
All the respect in the world. That's my guy. He knows that. Props to him. His promotion. I'm sure you've looked into his stuff. he pulls numbers. I can't lie. He gets people excited about the fight. I'm not too big of a trash talker myself, so it's harder for me. SCB is a lot of trash talking, so for me it's just head down and grind. Letting people know that hey, I'm fighting this time. People are going to tune in, and I'm excited to get in there and go to war. And then afterwards, we'll see what happens.
There we have it. Thank you so much, Cole, for your time and all
Thank
the
you.
best on Saturday night. And well, for me, hopefully you do come back to Florida with the win.
Yes, sir. Losing's not an option.